In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA picks for Tuesday, January 20th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Tuesday, January 20th NBA pick slate. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetChefD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91, and don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 10.3 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 20K, and we're well on the way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so you can grow to a much broader audience. All right, now for our previous video, the Texans, Patriots, Rams, and Bears, we went 1 out of 2 for that one. We took Texans with the points and we took the Bears with the points. Bears came through, Texans did not. It's a very sloppy game in that first one. And then Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams was very, very impressive in that, and we cashed on that one. Now, for Monday plays, we already cashed on an early parlay from Martin Luther King Day. Cash on this parlay, so you guys are missing out on the Patreon. If you subscribe, you would have this parlay here plus 435 with the boost, and that cash with Jalen Johnson, CJ McCollum, Nikhil Alexander, SGA, and James Harden. So nice win over there. We are waiting on the national championship play as well, and we cashed in on the 76ers and the Pistons already. So if you want more winning plays, you click that link provided down below. You're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to the group chat that goes off 24/7. First up here in Xfinity Mobile Arena, here we have the Philadelphia 76ers 23-18 going against the Phoenix Suns 26-17. Current odds for this one: 76ers home favorites here -120. Comeback of the Suns at a +100. Total at 223.5, and spread is at 1.5. Public bet percentage here very heavily on the one side. So 55% of the bets on Philly, but 55% of the money on Phoenix. For the total, 72% of the bets and 71% of the money on the over 223.5. And for the spread, 51% of the bets, 59% of the money on Philly to cover this number. All right, very interesting to see here. Some sharps are on the side of the Phoenix Suns in this one. And both teams are in the second game of a back-to-back. All right, Phoenix Suns beat the Nets, and the 76ers beat the Pacers. So both teams coming off wins. This is their first matchup of the series. Injury report here: we got to wait on news about Paul George. And then for the Suns, Jalen Green is supposed to be coming back. Not much of big news anyway. He wasn't doing much when he was playing, and he was getting very limited minutes, so it's going to probably take him some time to ramp up with that hamstring. All right, so a key factor in this one will be record with no rest. And the best team in the league right now with no rest, second game of back-to-back against the spread, Philadelphia is undefeated, 7-0 in this spot here, 100% cover. And then on the other end, the Phoenix Suns are 3-3, so they're 50%, 500 with no rest. All right, so obviously the clear advantage. You got the home team in Philadelphia, and they have been dominant in this scenario on the second game of no rest. Obviously, I think the better team is the Philadelphia 76ers. I think the Maxey has a very good matchup one-on-one with going up against Booker and the other guard and Connor Gillespie. And I also like Joel Embiid down low against Mark Williams as well. He can stretch him out, take him to the 3, make some mismatches here. So money line 76ers is going to be my main play. For the total, we're looking at 2 slower paced teams. Phoenix is 21st overall, and 76ers is 19th. To go along with the pace, these are some of the top tier defensive teams as well. Phoenix Suns is number 8 in the league, and the 76ers are 13th in the league in defensive rating. So I like the under 223 in the total as the secondary play. Main play 76ers money line. In United Center here, we have the Chicago Bulls 20-22 going up against the LA Clippers here, 19-23. Looking at the odds in this one, Bulls home favorites -155, Clippers on the comeback at +125, total at 226.5, and spread is at 3.5. For the public bet percentage, 53% of the bets coming in on the Clippers, 86% of the money coming in on Chicago. So sharps are all over Chicago at home. For the total, 74% of the bets, 71% of the money on the over 226. And for the spread, it's more even here. 53% of the bets, 51% of the money on the Clippers to cover the number. All right, this matchup here, East versus West, very intriguing. We do have news about Josh Giddey that you're going to have to wait on, all right? He was upgraded in his injury status, and he could play, all right? On the other end, Kawhi will miss the remainder of this road trip. They've been playing pretty solidly without him. They had another win, as you can see, this 5-game winning streak. They just beat the Washington Wizards there. The combination of James Harden and Ivica Zubac has just been enough here and been very, very efficient. Chicago Bulls played on the day prior on Sunday and beat the Brooklyn Nets by 22 points in that game. So this is the first matchup between these two teams, Clippers and Chicago Bulls. A very interesting matchup because we have no Kawhi Leonard, and technically you kind of what you want to avoid them, but the Clippers are on a roll right now. They found camaraderie despite the fact Kawhi Leonard is out, and obviously you would love to have him in this situation, but taking advantage of the Chicago Bulls team that could be without Josh Giddey. We have to wait on news about that, but I think there's value in the +3. I think that the Clippers can play a tough game here, keep it close, and then if we look at their trends on the back-to-back, I think they are, let's see, because they had a rough beginning of the season, so 3-3 on a no rest, all right, but mainly those games were because of the horrible start that they had at the beginning of the season. So you take that with a grain of salt. Value here +3.5 with the Clippers, all right. And if we're going with the total, I would slight lean towards the over 226.5. In Toyota Center here, we have the Houston Rockets 25-15 going against the San Antonio Spurs 30-13. Looking at the current odds in this one, Rockets at home -170, comeback of the Spurs at a +140, total at 222.5, and spread is at 3.5. If we're looking at the money line or public bet percentage here, 54% of the bets, 89% of the money all over San Antonio. For the total, 74% of the bets, 78% of the money on the over 222.5, and for the spread, 65% of the bets and 64% of the money towards the Spurs +3.5. Looking at this matchup here, intriguing between these two teams. They already played earlier in the season. That was a nice, highly score game there, 121-110 in that environment. That took the over there, and that was in San Antonio. This one is going to be in Houston. Both teams are playing solidly. Spurs on a 3-game winning streak. Rockets on a 2-game winning streak, beating Minnesota and the Pelicans here. Looking at the total first, the 222.5, I would lean towards the under with the Rockets being home. This is obviously a very elite defense here. If we're going defensive rating, Rockets are number 6 in the league. Spurs are number 3 in the league. The reason why that first game went over is because how efficient both of these offenses are. That's definitely could sway you away from the under in this one, but I think Houston being home, I think they slowed things down and forced that with their home environment. I like the under 222.5, and if we had to go with a winner in this one, the value is on the side with the better team. That's the +3.5 with the San Antonio Spurs. Now, offensively, I like the Spurs better. Rockets, more of a half-court offense. Spurs can stretch things, run more fast break. I like the three-point shooters on the side of the San Antonio Spurs as well. And ever since Wemby came back and shaved his head bald, this team has turned it up a notch here. with wins, a blowout against Milwaukee, a good win against Minnesota, and a dominant win against Utah as well. I think that the points here, I'm going to have to lean with them, plus 3.5, and then for the total under 222.5. In Delta Center here, we have the Utah Jazz at home, 14-29. Going against the Minnesota Timberwolves, 27-16. Checking out the odds for this matchup in the West. Timberwolves minus 550 on the money line. Come back at the Jazz at a plus 400. Total at 245.5. Spread is at 10.5. For the public bet percentage, 85% of the bets, 53% of the money on the side of Minnesota. For the total, 56% of the bets and money towards the under 245.5. And for the spread, 58% of the bets towards Minnesota, but 50% of the money here on Utah plus 10.5. All right. Now, this game here, this is the third matchup between these two teams. Both have gone the way of the Minnesota Timberwolves. First one was a 40-point blowout. Then in Utah was a 7-point loss. They played much tougher. This is another game here back in Utah. Utah should be motivated in this spot. It's tough to beat a team 3 times, let alone a team that is obviously well under 500. But you shouldn't be shocked when it comes to this Utah team. They've had some surprising wins over some elite teams. They beat Denver. They beat Cleveland, as you can see right here as well. They keep coming up with huge upsets here and there. You just got to catch them on the right spot. And this looks like a decent spot to do so. Obviously, Anthony Edwards, the second game back, he had a great game against San Antonio, 55 points, but they lost in that one against San Antonio Spurs. So you could say he's motivated, but I think Utah Jazz back at home in this one. If I can get, let me see. Let me give me a double check on Lauri Markkanen. Either without or with him, I would like Bryson Sabal. I like Keontae George and the cast and crew here. Maybe we get some new information about Lauri Markkanen. Let me double check on him really quick. Let's go to Roto World really fast. All right, the latest was, it says IR, but I just want to double check. All right, out Monday. All right, he's still with this illness. All right, 4th straight game. And that was just the other day, though, on the 18th. All right, so just wait on news to make it official about Lauri Markkanen, okay? When he can, because they could just lift him back from IR and make him come back. He's already missed, four games already, and they've still been playing tough without him. Going with the play here, give me the Utah Jazz plus 10.5. Third matchup against this team here. I think that they can definitely keep it close yet again in this particular spot. For the total, which is the question, we had two pretty close when it comes to this over 245.5. I think they kind of price it at the right spot. I would say over. A lot of people think that this is too high of a number. When it comes to Utah Jazz, when it comes to Minnesota, this can definitely still go over, even though they set it so high. I think they set it so high on purpose, and I like the over 245.5 in this one. In Golden One Center here, we have the Sacramento Kings 12-31 going against the Miami Heat 22-20. Looking at the odds here, minus 140 for the Heat. Road favorites here. Come back at the Kings at a plus 115. Total at 236 and spread at 2.5. Money line, 60% of the bets, 62% of the money towards the Miami Heat. For the total, 51% of the bets, 50% of the money towards the over. And for the spread, no data as of right now. Looking at this matchup here, this is the second game of a back-to-back for the Miami Heat. Right now, they are currently playing the Golden State Warriors. As you can see right here, they're down right now about 4, and the third quarter just started. So second game of back-to-back. Their record against the spread, they're pretty good, 62% of the time. They're 5-3 with no rest. All right, so that's a positive sign for Miami. The Sacramento Kings here, they have been playing much better basketball, They had like a 4-game winning streak, and then they lost against Portland, Miami Heat, up and down, but they've had some tougher competition here with OKC. They played them twice, and then they beat them in the last matchup. Had to face Boston, and they beat the Phoenix Suns. So really good wins here in this stretch. Even though you see more losses than wins, it was definitely a step up in competition. All right, now first game shockingly went towards Sacramento in Miami. That was a 16-point blowout. I think that the side to choose is Miami on this one. I already know Tyler Hero is out, but that's fine. Bam Adebayo has stepped it up. Andrew Wiggins, Norman Powell, they definitely have enough here to get this win, especially if we're looking at defensive rating. I think they can score at will against the Sacramento team. 27th worst in the league in defensive rating. I think they'll have a field day on that. So give me the Miami Heat going against one of the worst defenses in the league in the Kings. I'll take the money line of the Heat, and I like the over in 236.5. If you don't like the over, you could do the team total over for Miami Heat as well. And at Chase Center here, we have the Golden State Warriors 24-19, Raptors 25-19. This is a really good matchup currently in the West here, East versus West matchup. Toronto playing very good basketball as well. Looking at the odds, Warriors are home favorites -220. Comeback of the Raptors at a +180. Total at 227.5, and spread is at 5.5. Looking at the public bet percentage, 77% of the bets, 56% of the money towards Golden State. For the total, 64% of the bets and 66% of the money towards the over. And for the spread, 56% of the bets coming in on Golden State to cover. But Toronto here with the percentage of the money, 70% of the money coming in on Toronto to cover. So sharps are looking on the side of the East team here in the Toronto Raptors. All right. Looking at these two, the last 5 games, Golden State has been playing really consistent basketball. Before this stretch, they were reeling and struggling mightily, but we've had a good win over Sacramento, Portland, taking advantage of New York and Charlotte Hornets in 2 blowout fashions here. Toronto on this West Coast trip struggled against LA, just played the Clippers, so that's back-to-back losses there. Lost to Philly last week as well. So a little bit more up and down for the Toronto Raptors. And we have a spot where this is a revenge narrative for the Golden State Warriors. They lost previously in Toronto. High scoring environment, 268 points in that one. Wow. And that went into overtime in that particular game. All right. So if we're checking with the over here, let's just see pace here between Toronto and Golden State. Let's see. So Golden State bottom half, Toronto bottom half. So that was a rare occurrence, I would say. Maybe let's see offensive efficiency. If we're looking on the side of both teams, and Toronto, they're going bottom half. Toronto's bottom half. Golden State is right in the middle. Defensive rating, Golden State's top 10, but Toronto, I know Toronto's not at the bottom, in the middle. I'm missing Toronto. Can I not see Toronto anymore? Oh, they're right there. They're both high with defensive rating. So that was an outlier there. I figured that was an outlier. So I'm looking at the under 227.5. Looking at this matchup here in Golden State. I think that it's going to be more of a defensive game. Definitely opposite of what we saw in Toronto earlier in the season. The question, that 5.5 is weird because 2 weeks ago, there's no way you're trusting the Warriors to cover this number. But now they have a nice stretch here of games against, like I said, Sacramento, Portland, New York, and Charlotte, where they've shown consistency and taken advantage of home court. So in this one here, we got to remind ourselves, no Draymond Green, so they're losing one of the big men down low. This is a tough one here. I would have to lean with Toronto plus 5.5. I ultimately think the Warriors win the game, but the best value on the board is Toronto Raptors plus 5.5. That's going to be the main play. Secondary play would be Warriors just to get the win. In this matchup here, Ball Arena, Denver Nuggets versus the LA Lakers. Lakers are road favorites, minus 135. Come back with the Nuggets at a plus 110. Total at 228.5 and spread at 2.5. Looking at the public bet percentage here, 61% of the bets, 54% of the money on the Lakers. For the total, 65% of the bets, 59% of the money towards the over 228.5. And for the spread, 70% of bets and money towards the Lakers to cover the minus 2.5. Now, between these two teams here, Denver Nuggets still without Nikola Jokic. We do have question marks on Tim Hardaway and Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. Definitely stay tuned to news about those three guys. For the Lakers, Austin Reeves continues to be out. So this is the Luka Doncic and LeBron James show here for LA. LA finally getting a big win after a tough stretch. Big win over the Toronto Raptors in a blowout fashion, 110-93. Nuggets were hot and then fell short against the Charlotte Hornets. Now, without Nikola Jokic, this is a team that has only averaged 109 points, all right, per game without Nikola Jokic. So we're going to be looking at this total first. So only average 109 total points, and both of these teams are bottom in the league in pace. 20th are the Lakers, and the Denver Nuggets are 23rd as well. So secondary play in this one, we're going to go under 228.5. And for the main play, just give me the Lakers on the money line here. I think they continue on this run after that win against Toronto, and they take advantage of a team here in the Denver Nuggets without Nikola Jokic. That tends to be their Achilles heel, and every time they've faced Nikola Jokic, usually kills them. Obviously, we've seen in previous matchups in the playoffs as well, Nikola Jokic is that X factor, but I think they get this first win here against the Denver Nuggets. Lakers money line, main play, secondary play under 228.5. That's going to be our breakdown for the Tuesday slate. Let me know in that comment section down below if you agree or disagree. We could definitely debate about that one down below. Also, if you want to sign up for the Patreon and get winning plays, we just cashed on Indiana, and we just cashed on the over 47.5 as well in that game. You click that link provided down below. You're going to get full access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.